Hey everyone, welcome back to the Center Leader Podcast, where our goal is to help you live a life as a leader centered on Christ. I'm your host, Kurt Corcoran, and today we have with us April Heath, and she is our new staff member, new team member. And today the episode is a continuation of our series Staff Stories, where we just interview different people on our team so that you can get to know them and know how to pray for them and get a little bit behind the scenes to make you feel like you know them a little bit better. So today we are with your official title is Spiritual Formation Administrative Assistant,
yes,
right?
It's a mouthful.
Yes, and it is a long title. We need to get you one of those desk things, put on and just it'll be like a 2x4, like one of those desk signs, right? But no, she came on the team. You've been with us 3 weeks? Right?
All right. The first
3
week
weeks?
was kind of at home, but
Yes.
then last 2 weeks have been in the office. So.
Yes, absolutely. Almost a month here at Centerpoint. And so as we get started, share a little bit about your life story and kind of your faith journey. So start us off, did you grow up in Alabama, and kind of go from there?
I was actually born in Clanton.
Is that in Alabama? That's in
yes.
Alabama, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I forget you're not local.
Yeah.
It's not far from here. In fact, if you know where Peach Park is, that's
yes.
That's
okay, yeah.
an area. So that's where I was born. My mom and my dad moved to Mississippi. They were divorced by the time I was 2, so then we moved back here, and I was pretty much raised in Montgomery. We moved away from Montgomery when I think I was 17 to Prattville area. But that's where I did most of my school, was in Montgomery and everything. So kind of grew up there. That was my stomping grounds. But then met my husband, my first husband, in school. And we got married in 2001. I was 18. Found out I was pregnant the day after we got married.
Yeah.
And he was actually going to the military a week later. So he came back after 6 months, and I was huge. And our first base was in Alaska, so it was kind of nice. I grew up here, but then got to travel from Alabama to Alaska.
Yeah,
it's like
a culture shock.
Yes, night and day difference. But that was where my son was born, Alec, and so I was 19, had a baby, and we had a long relationship. But my childhood was full of trauma and abuse, and so it was kind of leaked into our marriage.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we had a lot of issues, and the closer we got to home, the more I wanted to leave. And once we got to Little Rock, Arkansas in 2007, that's where I actually decided it was time to split. But God had other plans. That was where my story actually began with my faith. I did not grow up in the church. My family believed in God, but it was more hellfire and brimstone. So I just figured, with all the things that I had done wrong, I was going to hell. I didn't think I was good enough to go to heaven. So whenever I left my husband at that time, I came here, and God just kind of intervened. I was a people pleaser. He had a friend of mine invite me to church, and just to kind of appease him, I went, and there was a lady there that had just been praying for me and praying that I would come. And God spoke to me that night, and after that I was like, okay, he died for me. I don't have to deserve it. He did it for me anyway. And so after that, I just started seeking him. She was discipling me. She baptized me. And then I got to see God use some of the trauma and the things that I went through to help others.
Yeah.
I was able to come alongside another girl who had went through very much the same story I did as a child, and was headed the same path I had been on. And got to see God deliver her and even baptize her.
Yeah.
And now she's with her family going on mission trips. And so it's just been beautiful to see how he takes even the pain in our lives and kind of uses that for his story. But in 2007, that's whenever I came to Christ. And even though I didn't want to go back to my husband at that point, God was pushing me. He was telling me that I needed to go back. And I'm thankful I did, because he was able to change my heart, and I was able to love him again. And we had a lot of good years. We were going to church, involved in connect groups, and doing all the things, and just really living for God. And we had decided to have another child. So in 2010 is when I had my son Avery. So it's a big age gap. They're 9 years apart. But Alec was just the biggest help and such a huge, he loved being a big brother. He helped out a lot. So it was just nice to just add to our family. And unfortunately, my ex-husband and I, he ended up going to Afghanistan. And when he went there, things just kind of changed for us. And, you know, we weren't perfect. We were still being sanctified and still dealing with things that, and unfortunately, trust had been broken and we couldn't fix it. And it became toxic. So we just decided this is not what we want to show our kids that love looks like. Since we couldn't get past it, we decided just to go our separate ways. And now he's remarried with 2 kids, and we have a very blended family. We do like Christmas and Thanksgiving together. And I mean, it was not the best decision, but I wish we could have fixed things. But at that point, you know, it was for the best. And so my boys and I came back here. And that's where I've been ever since 2012. I've been back here, and I love it. Unfortunately, whenever I came back, I was having to single mom it. And so I worked and didn't really have Sundays off or anything like that. So I kind of got away from going to church, got away from being involved and surrounding myself with the Christian community. And it just led to me not being a very good fruit inspector, and ended up in a marriage that was the biggest mistake of my life. I really regret that one, but I definitely feel like I've learned a lot from that one. And I have 2 amazing stepkids that I still claim and get to spend time with from that. But that's pretty much, you know, after that relationship ended, that's whenever I was like, you know what, I'm done. I don't need somebody else in my life. I just need to lean in on Jesus and really build on that relationship. And he guided me out of that relationship. And so that was where my focus was. So once I left that relationship in 2021, I was just focused on like finding a good church, getting involved, and that's how I ended up at Centerpoint. I was just where I was working at, I was just telling people, you know, I really want to find a good church, and I'm praying about it. And so like one of my customers suggested Centerpoint, and then that same week, a friend that her husband is an atheist, and she used to be a believer but kind of got away from it, but even she recommended Centerpoint. And then another friend of mine that I didn't know went here posted that same week about Centerpoint, and I was like, okay, God, I get it. I'm going to go to Centerpoint. And so I started here in 2022 when they opened this building. I was here for the first service in this building, and I've been here ever since. Like, it has been nothing but a blessing in my life. I was able to get involved in a Connect group and get involved with the kids ministry, and both have just been just amazing, like just a blessing, especially the Connect group. I call them my Monday night sisters. And that's one of the reasons why I was really excited about taking on this job, was just because it meant so much to me and helped me with my relationship with God and just growing in faith and understanding, and just helped me walk through some very dark times. So.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And so that kind of brings us up to speed. So what's happened in the past years since you've been here at Centerpoint in your life?
Well, since 2022, you know, like I said, I got involved with kids ministry and with the Connect groups, and that had been amazing. I actually met a man that is now my husband. I was not planning on dating again. I had actually prayed a very specific list that I was like, God, I don't want anybody unless they fit this list, and thought I was pretty, you know, weird enough about it. Like, I wanted tattoos and divorce and, you know, of course, first and foremost, walking with God. But but I had a bunch of random stuff that I threw in there just because I wanted us to have the same understanding of like the traumas that we've been through. That way it wouldn't ever be like, oh, well, I don't understand you, I don't have kids or anything like that. So, but God brought him in my life, and I wasn't expecting it. And I kind of, 2023 helped me realize why he brought me into that. In 2023, May 2023, I lost my son, my oldest, and trying not to cry. It was really hard, but it helped me see that God had been preparing me since 2022. Like, he knew it was coming, and he wanted to make sure I had a family of faith surrounding me. That I had a man in my life that would pray for me and would, even though he didn't know what to do with my grief, like, he would pray for me. And he would be there for me. And it helped keep me from, because I was still a single mom to my youngest, who was at that time 13. And so it kept me from leaning too much into him with my pain and my grief. I had somebody else I could be there. And so I knew God had a plan in all of that he wanted to make sure I was surrounded with just a lot of people to help me get through that situation. And they did. I mean, that was by far the worst thing I've ever had to go through. But that also completely changed my faith journey. Whereas before, I was very, walking with the Lord, wanting to understand with him. At this point, I am surrendered to the Lord, because I realize that our days are numbered. We have very little control in this life. And so I don't want to waste my days doing anything but serving the Lord. Like, whatever plan he has for me, that's what I want. I don't want it if he's not in it, kind of thing. And my eyes were never heaven focused. They were still earth focused. But now they are very much heaven focused and wanting to just see it flooded with people. So that's just kind of where I'm at now. He led me to this job, and I'm very thankful for it, because I did absolutely nothing. He opened every door on this situation, and I'm just like, God, I'm excited to see what you have in store for me. Through losing my son, he actually brought me to GriefShare, and has let me open up leading a GriefShare group, and I've been able to come alongside other people and just kind of walk with them through their pain. And it's just been a beautiful experience. It's helped me with my own healing, but mostly it's just amazing just to watch God work, just to get to see his hand in things that, even though it's painful, and I tell people all the time, he turned my tragedy into a testimony. Like, I've been able to, I've had so many blessings out of it. One of them, my son was actually a donor, and so he was able to save 3 lives. And one of the guys got his heart, his kidney, and his liver. And so that was the main one that I really, really wanted to meet, because he had my son's heart, and my son had a heart of gold. And so I remember in 2024, I had written all 3 recipients a letter in January. And so it takes a long time to go through the donor process to get contact information. But so in July, it was just my birthday, I just prayed. I was like, God, I would really, really like to hear back from one of the recipients. And I said, if it could be the guy that has his heart, that would be amazing. And, I still hadn't heard anything back. But then come Alex's birthday, which is August 17th. He's my son that I lost. I woke up that morning knowing it was going to be a hard day, because birthdays, holidays, all of that's hard now. So I just thought it was going to be a horrible day, and woke up to a text from my ex-husband, his dad, and he just let me know that somebody had commented on his obituary. And so I go to the obituary, and it's Valance, the man who has my son's heart, kidney, and liver. And he had commented around July, around my birthday, but I didn't get it until Alex's birthday, when I needed it more. And I thought that was just a beautiful, like, God just in his perfect timing giving me something he knew. Like, that day turned from a day of mourning to a day of rejoicing, because I got to speak to the guy that had his heart, his kidney, and his liver, and it was just an amazing thing. So, and he's just even done more from that. Like, we had a whole interview. I got to meet him this past year. And
that was incredible.
It was really cool. And he came out on what he considers his new birthday, the day he woke up from his surgery and he goes by, like, we have a little nickname. We call him Valak, which is like Valance and Alec together. So it's just been a beautiful relationship, and he's family now. So, I mean, I get to see God do a lot of beautiful things with ashes. So
that's incredible. And thank you for sharing that, because I know what you've shared thus far has been extremely difficult, and God has What the evident thing is that God has been with you every step of the way in those situations and in those difficulties. And as you've realized each and every step of the way, hey, God is still with me. God still loves me. God still has a plan. God still has a purpose. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite quotes, and I say it probably 3 times a week in different conversations, but God is always using past experiences to prepare us for future opportunities. And each experience that you've gone through, God has given you also opportunities to glorify Him in that. And I think that's such a beautiful thing about your story, is that you're realizing that every step of the way, and not many people get to that place. And so I'm grateful that you have, and it's so exciting. And everybody who knows you knows that about you, is that you've turned what destroys many and sends many down a spiraling, just I don't know, walk of life of that they never get out of that spiral, that you've chosen, hey, I'm going to face this, but not on my own strength, with God's strength, and I'm going to figure out why and how I can use this. And I think that's so. Just if I can encourage you in that, that's been incredible to watch.
Thank you.
And and I've only known you for 10 months, and so and it's helpful for people to realize everything that God has brought you through. And I know that that's painful and that's hard to share, but thank you for sharing that thus far.
It's been hard, but yeah, like you said, like God has just shown me that He's walking with me through it. And like I prayed in 2024 before I got into GriefShare, I just prayed. I was like, God, if you're going to give me this pain, give me purpose to go with it. Yes. And that was where He led me with the GriefShare, and it's just been such a blessing. So every step that I've just surrendered to Him, He has walked me through, and it just amazes me. Like I'm constantly in awe of the things that He's done in my life. Like it's hard for me not to look back and just see His hand all over it. And I always encourage people that are going through things just to keep reaching out to Him, and just ask Him to show you what He's doing. Like He will let you have glimpses of His hand at work. And I'm very fortunate. Not many people get to have the experiences that I've had, as far as like their loved one being able to donate and stuff like that. So I consider myself very blessed in that aspect. Even though I had to lose my son here, I know where he's at. I know I have hope. He's not in my past. I carry him with me in my present, and he's very much in my future.
Yes.
So we will have eternity together. Yeah. So for right now, I'm just doing my best to honor the Lord and honor Him, and just share His story. And yeah, he was a wonderful kid, and like just heart of gold. He would honestly like give you the shirt off his back anytime he saw people in need, or if a friend that just didn't have anybody to talk to or sit down. Like I can't even tell you how many kids have come up to me after his passing and said, He got me through high school. Like I wouldn't have made it. Like I mean, so many kids that were suicidal that he helped talk through situations. So he was just an amazing kid. So I'm blessed that he was mine.
Yes, absolutely. No, that's incredible. And thank you for sharing that. And I think that's powerful to share with others too. And like you said, you've been in now conversations and in rooms and all kinds of different things that you never would have thought that God would orchestrate and use and all for His glory. So, yeah.
Very much so.
Well,
just
thank you.
Excited to be a part of it.
Yes, absolutely. And that kind of brings us to this next question, kind of giving us an overview of your life a little bit and how God's worked in it. So you've been at Centerpoint now since 2022, and then you've been here for 3 weeks, right? And so how did the job opportunity come upon you?
So I was actually, I waitressed, and most people will know me from waitressing. I do a lot of mom and pop shops around, and my last job was at Epicure, and they were so gracious, and I loved working there, but just from years of doing the jobs I did, my knees are like bone on bone. I want to ask my doctor at what age would he give my knees, because apparently they're really bad. Every time they see them, they're like, how old are you? Were you an athlete? But I ended up having to have a total knee replacement. And so I was going to be out of work for about 6 weeks, because waitressing, I need to be able to walk fast and move. So I was going to be out of work for 6 weeks, and I was just praying and praying. I was like, God, if you can just give me something that I can do from home to make money, because if you're not working, you're not making any money, you don't get time paid when you're off. So I was just praying over that, had other people praying, like if God wanted to offer me an opportunity to step out of that so that I wasn't doing so much damage to my knees, that that would be presented to me, and just was really trusting in Him to kind of guide me somewhere. But even if he didn't, I was just going to do the 6 weeks and then go back to work. But during that 6 weeks, he was just kind of putting on my heart about, like, I had a couple of people that were coming to me about connect groups, and they're like, hey, I reached out, but I hadn't heard anything. And so I just brought that up to one of the other staff members, and was just like, hey, if y'all need help with that, I'm going to be off for 6 weeks and probably bored out of my mind. Like, I can come in and help with that. And it was so funny because she was like, oh, I'll talk to Pastor Steve about that. And then she totally forgot. And so apparently Pastor Steve and his wife, and I guess you had probably mentioned to them you needed an admin, so they were discussing it, and they thought of me. And then that was on a Thursday, and the very next day she remembered to message him and let him know that I was looking for a job, and that was just how that came together. And then he called me and he was like, I don't believe in coincidences, so we're going to get you in here and interview. And I was just blown away. And the whole time, like, I was like, God, this is way outside of my comfort zone. It's not something, I mean, I told y'all in the interview process, this is nothing I'm qualified for other than, just I'm a people person. That I got down. Yes. But that this was very much going to be something new for me. And I understood if y'all didn't want to take a chance on me, I wouldn't have any hard feelings. Yeah. But God had other plans, and so I'm thankful. I'm thankful that y'all took a chance and allowed me to come work here, because there's been nothing but a blessing. I've loved the staff here for as long as y'all have been here, because y'all it's fun to get to serve here in the kids ministry, and I have a lot of y'all's kids in my classes, so I love it. And so that's how I ended up getting here, and it's just been a blessing. I've gotten to work from home while I was recovering, and I mean, God did it all. I'm just still amazed that I'm here. It pinch me. I feel like I'm dreaming half the time.
Yes. So. No, we're excited to have you here. I do want to correct something that you said.
Okay.
You said that you weren't qualified. I believe you are overqualified.
Thank you.
Because God has orchestrated things in your life to put you in this place and in this moment, and what you do for the spiritual formation team is incredible, by connecting people to different connect groups, by just having those conversations with our leaders. That's one of the most impactful things of Centerpoint, because we are a church of connect groups, not a church with connect groups. Yes. And so the connect group ministry and the spiritual formation ministry, what you're doing is an enormous part of our ministry here. So I think you're overqualified, and I think she's doing a phenomenal job, and we're excited to have you a part of this team. And many of you connect group leaders, you will have communication with her. Some of you already have, and getting emails from her. She is a resource to you, and she will be an encouragement to you, and she will fight for you and fight with you, right?
Absolutely.
Fight with you in a good way, right? I'm going to be the one that fights with you. She'll be the peacekeeper now, and that's why I'm thankful, because you have a lot more patience, and you're a lot. Well, I'll just put it this way: you're a lot less judgmental than I am. So I'm grateful for that. So yes, April is the least judgmental person that I probably know in my circle of influence. So we're grateful to have you there.
Thank you. I appreciate
so
that.
Shifting the conversation, what are hobbies? What are some things that you enjoy doing?
Well, before my knees got really bad, I loved to hike. That was something I enjoy, being outdoors, hiking, kayaking. As far as once that started happening, I've also had an obsession with video games. I play video games. I'm mostly RPG. But I've put probably way too many hours in video games. Yeah. But since I've taken over this job, that's kind of, everything's taken a back burner. But those are just, a hobby I'm not good at, but I actually enjoy, is playing drums. Don't tell Nick, because I don't want him to think I can play drums. Yes. I can carry a beat. That's about it. But just stuff like that. Yeah. It's fun.
That's cool. That's awesome. If you were walking into a Buc-ee's, have you ever been to Buc-ee's?
I have been to Buc-ee's.
So we're going to keep the scenario going then. If you walk into Buc-ee's, what are you grabbing, snack-wise, drink-wise?
Probably one of their barbecue sandwiches and the little, the beaver nuggets.
Oh, yeah.
Are obsessed. Drink-wise, I'm not big on drinking Monster or water. I just don't. I mostly just drink water. If I need the energy, it's a Monster. Yeah. Now I'm into protein shakes now that I had the surgery, so I've been drinking a lot of those. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Okay. Who cooks more at home, your husband or you?
a toss-up. Like, we try to rotate. So we'll, like, I'll cook one night, then we'll have either a leftover or fend for yourself night.
Yeah.
Since we have teenagers, like, that's a lot easier.
Yes.
And then he'll cook the next night. So it's kind of, we both take turns.
Okay.
He is by far the better cook. I prefer when he cooks, just because he's really good at it. But he also works a lot of hours, so
Yes.
I totally get him not wanting to cook all the time. But yeah, he's a really
He's
good
better
cook.
at cooking the food. You're better at serving the food, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a good team.
And, yeah. And how long have you been before this? How long were you in the service industry?
I started waitressing when I came back here in whenever I came back in 2007, I waitressed at Waffle House for a minute. I was only separated from my ex-husband for about 4 months, so that was my short stint.
Yes.
But before that, I was working at like the BX, working in the stock room and like stocking shelves, so it was always lifting and walking on hard floors. But since like serving consecutively since 2012, like when we got a divorce, I came back here, and that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a lot.
Yeah. And like I
Hard on my
said,
body.
I think, but in that, and I think that's the beautiful thing about how God has placed you in this position now, is because in the service industry, it's people first, right? And it's always you're communicating with people. Mm-hmm. And here at Centerpoint, we believe this. It's all about relationships. And so that's I think it's so cool just how God once again is orchestrating all those different things to put you in this role. So we're excited that you're here.
Thank you.
Kind of in conclusion to this conversation, what would you say has been the most impactful thing, if you kind of put it into like a bite-sized thought or nugget? What has been the most impactful thing that God has taught you that you'd want to share with other leaders, or something? Maybe an encouragement, maybe a, hey, this is just, don't forget this type, I know that's really broad and really hard to narrow down, because, that's the hardest question of this podcast.
So are we talking to believers or unbelievers?
Believers. So we're talking to Connect Group leaders.
No matter what you're going through, whatever season God's taking you through, if it's a really painful one, just hold on to Him.
Yeah.
That He will lead you through the valley of the shadow of death. He walks with you. And even through those hard times, He's refining you through it. He's refining your faith.
Yes.
He's helping you draw closer to Him and depend on Him more. And that's mostly what I've gotten out of my own experience, is just being able to fully surrender and trust in Him and allow Him to heal those broken places. And it takes time. I still deal with pain. I'm still healing, but I can tell you I'm so much closer to, I have joy and peace and love and all that back in my life, where whenever I lost out, I didn't think I would ever be happy again. I thought that was it. I was just going to be depressed and miserable for the rest of my life. But God showed me, He's like, I can take your broken heart. What is it? He's close to the brokenhearted and saves those whose spirits are crushed. And that has been true in my life. So I would like to remind people that, just to lean into Him. Don't run from Him. That's a lot of times when bad stuff happens and we're going through hard situations, that's what we want to do. We want to push back and be like, God, you're doing this. But there's a lot of times you can't see the bigger picture. And something that we say in GriefShare, that when things are hard and you don't understand God's plan, you can trust His heart.
Yes.
He's a good God.
Yes.
He's got a good plan. And even when it doesn't seem that way, He's still working things for your good and for His glory. So that'd be my nugget.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you for sharing that. And,
of course.
And seriously, thank you for this conversation. I know parts of it have been difficult to share, but I think there's power in sharing. And I think it's been an encouragement to our leaders. So thank you for that. And we're excited to have you on the team. And we're excited to continue to make memories together as a leadership team and as Connect Group leaders watching this. We're a team together. And I want you guys to realize that we're doing life, we're doing ministry together. And so we are all on the same team. We all have the same goal, right? Reach as many people as we can for the gospel and continue to disciple them. So thank you for your role. And like I said, you'll be hearing from her if you haven't yet. She's doing a lot of my appointment scheduling, a lot of communication, a lot of groups database stuff, and making sure that your group requests, when you get somebody requests to join your group, that it's not 5 months goes by before you message them and they're already moved to a different state, and then different things like that. So just really cleaning up a lot of communication, because I truly believe clarity clarity is kindness, and I believe from that we are showing people kindness around us with our communication. So thank you for helping me with that, and she is making sure that I schedule those and keep those appointments, which I'm very grateful for too as well. So hey, thank you for being on, and I'm going to pray for us, and then we're going to end this conversation. Right. Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you for April. Lord, just thank you for her heart and for her story. And Lord, as you're still writing her story, as you're still writing all of our stories, Lord, is that we would be obedient to you and that we would use, Lord, everything that we've experienced to glorify and honor you. And Lord, there's some things that we don't understand. There's some things that we will not understand until heaven. And Lord, we surrender that to you. And Lord, we're still going to be obedient to you. And so, Lord, just thank you for April's life, and thank you for her heart. Lord, thank you for her family. And Lord, I pray that you would continue to guide her and direct her as you, Lord, just work in her life and work in our lives collectively. Lord, help us to never lose focus of what you've called us to do here with our time. It's in your son's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Hey, praying for you guys. If you guys need anything, please let us know, and we will see you guys on the next one.